Yo, this is Nova Trifecta. I am Jimmy Fedora, aka Alias, aka Ladarius, aka all of the above. Introduce yourself, fellas.
Hey, this Rashad. Yo, what's up? Nova Trifecta. What's good?
Hey, this is Kendall, Nova Trifecta. What's up, world?
Welcome to episode 002, not to be confused with 00 or 001. First off, what we're going to be discussing.
That boy got some bad jokes to start the show.
That wasn't a bad joke. That was facts. See, if you watch the last podcast, you would have got that joke. You don't watch your own pod, so
I can't watch my work. It embarrasses me.
You like
we all three on it. I know it's all good.
All right. Well, the first thing we're going to cover the tragic loss of one of our heroes on the cinematic screen, Chadwick Boseman. We want to talk about his impact on the culture in such a short time, and how he, did what he did, going through what he had, and nobody knew. So let's start out with you guys to kind of, touch on that topic.
Well, I just think to be honest with you, I remember a couple of months ago when the photo came out, and I think everybody just kind of assumed that it was for a movie role. They said it was people making fun of him. I didn't see that, but with the way people are, hey, I'm sure it was. But I just figured that it was for a movie role, and I just kind of played it to the left. And then when you messaged me the other day and said Chadwick, it's like so much has happened in 2020 that when you messaged me, it almost felt like you was like, Chadwick Boseman died, man. Like it's just almost numb to stuff happening in 2020. Like it's just one shock after another. But when you said colon cancer, I was like, that's why he was looking sick a couple of months ago when that photo came out. But honestly, I think that we lost a legend. I think that we lost a hero. I think that he was what young Black kids can look up to and identify with this superhero era. Because, when we grew up, we looked up to Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, characters like that. They weren't Black, but we didn't even understand representation then. We just loved the superheroes. And those still are my favorite superheroes, Batman and them. But these kids in this era got representation on the screen. And that was Chadwick Boseman, and he seemed like such a genuine person. He seemed like such a great guy. I think it's a tragic loss. It is a tragic loss. And I think we lost a legend. He played a lot of legendary characters. I'm praying for his family. Terrible news.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if my mind serves me correct, that was the first Black Panther was like the first big time film that was that starred a Black actor as that lead superhero role.
I think Blade
was, but that's the biggest.
But Black Panther was the first all Black cast, pretty much, and all like chocolate people too. Like it all the same color, like the same shade, everything. Like that's how the impact of Black Panther.
It was amazing. That was such a good film. But one of my favorite films from him was Jackie Robinson. I love baseball, and Jackie Robinson, that movie was just so good. He's played such a big part in helping and showing young Black people that you can do so much more. I think it was great that they chose him, of all people, chose him to do Jackie Robinson, seeing what Jackie Robinson went through, being the first, Black baseball player and having to break down barriers and stuff. And then the Black Panther comes out, and it's that superhero, all, just that, like you talked about, the whole cast and everything. Wonderfully done movie. Was not cheap, was not, was so good. I listened to this that commencement speech last night. I listened to a little bit of it again today. That was a genuinely great person, a great role model, not only for young Black people, but for anybody, for the whole
anybody.
For anybody. Yeah. I would love for my son. I want my sons to aspire to be to be, someone of that character too. So that I think highly of him. Uh, like I said, it's another 2020 with another shot to the gut, man. I just,
It's crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like it.
We're losing just. Life is so precious, man. 2020 is just, it is, I'm ready for it to be over with. I know y'all are too. It's just one thing or another. It's just, it's horrible. I just, my thoughts, prayers going out to his family, his fans. There's some fans that are taking it probably just as hard as his family is,
Yeah.
Because all of us like movies, all of us like characters and stuff like that. Sometimes you get attached to those people on a screen and you develop a relationship without even knowing them. And,
I agree as well. And, me and Kendall this week have also experienced a little loss, in our families. So it seem like every time I open the app, Twitter, Facebook, I'm getting some bad news of somebody passing. But with Chadwick, what I think about is strength. The strength he had, that he could film all of this while he was going through stage 3 cancer, and we never knew. He looked healthy. He looked, his mind was strong. The way he just did everything. You got to think, when he did Black Panther, he actually had stage 3 colon cancer. Crazy to think about, because like he was on the cover of Rolling Stone looking fit and ripped, and just what I pull from it is being strong through any situation that you're going through, and be a light as long as you're here to help as many people as you can, and be the best version of yourself. Is what I got from Chadwick. So having said that, rest in peace, Chadwick.
And to really to piggyback on what you said, it's really remarkable the kind of shape and the bulk that he was able to put on for these roles. Because if he found out in 2016, he had to do Captain America Civil War, the Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, superhero movies, having to be bulky, having to be bigger. And then in Black Panther, you gotta look like you can take on Michael B. Jordan, Mr. Fitness. So you got to look the part. It's remarkable that he was able to do all of that while going through everything that he was going through, and then nobody knew it. And then it also tells what type of genuine person he was, that none of his friends, none of his close people leaked his personal information. That's how good a relationships that he had. That lets you know right there how great a guy he was, how great a person that he was, that his friends was that loyal to him that they wouldn't leak any of his information. We had no idea that he was sick.
Yeah, no idea.
Shows you how mentally strong he had to be, because he was, like Juicy said, mentally sharp. He acted so well. I could not imagine having to do that. I know firsthand from, immediate family dealing with cancer, how their mind can, kind of go everywhere when they're dealing with that. And for him to have that type of composure to still be, one of the best actors on screen, that was amazing.
Yeah. And I genuinely saw an Oscar in his future. I saw him winning an Academy Award. I still don't know how he got snubbed for playing James Brown. It looked like he at least should have got an Oscar nod for that. But I saw an Academy Award for Best Actor in his future, man. He was a great actor, brilliant actor. He's great at playing characters. And he made a huge impact this era on not just Black culture, but mainstream.
Yes.
He will be truly missed.
He will be truly missed. I think
Wakanda forever.
I think he has one more movie coming out, I think, with Viola Davis. So we all need to get behind that and support that whenever they decide to release that. But other than that, thank you, Chadwick, for, these iconic classic roles that you played in such a, short period of time, and he will be missed.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to, other bad news. I want to discuss, what's going on. It wouldn't be right if we at least touched on the subject. What happened in Kenosha? because it's affecting everything. We like to talk about sports, so it's going to bleed into our sports topic. But what are you guys' thoughts on what happened in Kenosha and how we can move forward and, things of that nature?
Honestly, to be honest with you, I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm so tired of seeing unarmed black men and black women gunned down. I'm just tired of seeing it. And it's such a old conversation. It's such an old conversation. It's just been happening for so long. And black people just tired of seeing it. And the thing that I think a lot of people just don't want to understand is that it's tough for us to watch it. Like it's because we identify with the victims. We identify with the victim. We got the same name. We from the same type of neighborhoods. They look like our family members. They look like us. So we identify with these people. That's why it hurts us so bad, because we identify with it. And we just, as a whole, we just tired of seeing it and want to see some kind of change come from it. And at this point, I don't know where the change is going to come from and how it's going to get here, but I just want to see some change. I just want to see some change because I'm tired of seeing unarmed black people being gunned down. I'm just tired of seeing it.
Not only black people are tired of seeing it, but there are a lot of white people. Me personally, my family members personally, we're sick of seeing this too. It seems like this is a weekly subject.
Yeah.
It's every time we turn around, we see this. And I'm so sick of people getting on social media and saying this man had a horrible track record and why are y'all so upset about it? He was still a human being regardless of what he did. I don't understand how I don't understand this. And these are everyday average people. And I get emotional thinking about the thing that, because these are everyday average Joes, that two of my best friends that I'm doing a podcast with, what if they get stopped tomorrow and get treated this way? What if they get taken identity? What if they get rolled up on by the police that are having a bad day and get treated and get shot, and I have to watch one of them go 6 feet under? Man, stop, man. Why don't we have compassion for humans anymore? And I understand. I have been raised in church. My dad was a pastor, so I know that there's evil in the world. Jesus said it plain as day. In this world you'll have trouble. Period. And I know there are evil people, and I know we're gonna have problems and struggles. But this is the same thing. It's like a record that keeps on playing over and over. And how do I explain it to my children? How do I, this has got to stop. I don't know how it's gonna stop, where it's gonna stop. I don't know how much. I don't know what all I can do. That's the thing that I feel so helpless at, is like, what can I do? I just know that I can't sit back anymore. I'm tired of racism in America. I'm tired of racism. Where I'm from. For the long time, I didn't get on social media and blast people and speak out loudly about it. But after the George Floyd, I realized then it's not enough if you're not a racist white person. It's not enough just not to say anything. Like, we need to help you out. We need to get behind you. We need to voice our opinion too. Because me personally, I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of seeing it. I'm at a loss for words. Like, how in the world there's three of you, and you're telling me that all you just want to do is shout stop, stop, stop until the man gets to his car and then unload on him like that?
Yeah.
I felt like he was done in a couple shots. Why did you go with 7?
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, when we see these videos, what happened to shooting somebody in the ass, shooting somebody in the leg, to disarm them, or if you that scared, shooting somebody not to kill. Every video that I see, they trying to kill these folks. 7 in the back.
Kill shot.
7 in the back, and he had a knife. I mean, even they say he had a knife and all that good stuff. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of hearing about it. But I feel like we're in the eye of the storm. you know, out of all this bad, some good gonna come out of it because I believe we're gonna eventually move forward. You know, we see a lot of people taking action like the NBA. You know, they taking action. But it's just it's getting old. It's getting old. We knew about it, but now the world get to see. You know, being
Yeah,
a black man, we always knew about it, always heard about it,
yeah,
always have gone through it. But not everybody getting the chance to see. We get to hold up that mirror, and you know, everybody get the chance to see what we go through. So I hope we get to a point where we can actually like move forward and get this ball rolling. Because I'm raising a little black boy, and I don't want him to go through all of this. So I want him to see a different world. You know, by the time he get of age, and you know, um,
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
it
I'm
makes me think about. It makes me think about. You know, I got two little nephews going into teenage years. You know, I got a godson, which is your son, that'll be growing up, and you know, will have to deal with this, and it's tough to watch. It's scary to think about. Um, and
I've got
I don't know. It just is, man. It's just, and we identify with them so much, and we identify as well with. We know that their families are gonna hurt. They shot this man in front of his children. They shot this man, gunned him down like that in front of his children. Why in the world it takes 7 shots in his back?
that's
You know, right
that's
there in front of his kids.
you trying to kill him.
I just don't understand. It just seemed to me like it's just a lack of compassion. That's what it seemed to me. It's just a lack of compassion.
And what I want you to do, Shot, I want you to you put something on Facebook the other day that I kind of want you to expound on when you said just because we disagree don't mean we can't be friends. Two things could be
no,
true. So can you touch on that? Because I think I had a conversation with this Kendall last night too. Could y'all kind of touch on that just because we don't agree, or just when we were talking about the other day, you know, with the kids and one of them wanted to take a knee for the national anthem, how you could support them, you can still support people even though, you know, just expound on
Yeah, I think that you can look. I'm tired of trying to convince people that you should get on board with this. You should agree. So I'm willing to say, look, even if you don't agree, I know that a lot of white Americans got black friends. I know you do because I got a lot of white friends. We grew up together. I know you got a lot of black friends. You need to be sensitive.
yes.
I think white Americans need to be sensitive to the way your black friends feel about these issues. You know, I think it's a way that you can have your feelings on it, and that's okay for you to have your feelings on it. But I think just be sensitive to the way that your black friends feel because it hits us differently. It does. It hits us a little bit differently. And I think you should just be sensitive to the way that your black friends feel about these things. Even when it comes to things like kneeling for the flag, it's 100% okay if you don't kneel. But you also can go and place your hand on your black teammate's shoulder if he's kneeling and respect where he's coming from. Respect why he feels that way. You know what I mean? Just and respect how he feels about it. And don't take shots at him and don't look down and turn your nose up at him. That's your teammate, that's your friend. Respect how he feels about it. Ask him how he feels about it. Talk to him about how he feels about it. It's okay. You can still believe what you want to believe, but show some compassion to your black friends because it does hit us a little bit differently. It's just true. It's just true. It does hit us a little differently when we see somebody that looks like us, that's unarmed and a lot of times unthreatening, not threatening anybody and still being gunned down. It just hits us a little bit differently. Personally, I think it should hit everybody the same way. But even if it doesn't, just respect where your black friends coming from on it, man.
It is
You can still have your own opinion, but you know, respect where your black friends come.
it is completely okay to still be proud to be an American. It is okay to have pride that we're American people. That is okay. But like you said, man, be sensitive to your teammates, to your friends about this. It gripes me because we want peaceful protests, and then people peacefully protest, and we get so upset. Just because you have a friend that kneels down does not mean he's saying he's not proud of being America or being where he, coming from here. he is taking a stand on something that hits him in his feelings, and that he's trying to display it in a respectful manner. People forget that Colin Kaepernick was sitting on the for a game before he even started doing the kneeling. And a U.S. military man came to him and said, Colin, it's way more respectful if you'll take a knee for the flag than it would be if you just sit, because they kneel for soldiers. I've got family members that have been in the military. I have got a grandfather that has fought in wars. I've got an uncle that has fought. I've got a cousin that has fought in wars. So proud. I love those people. I love the military people for what they do, the sacrifices they made. But I also want to support my black brothers and sisters and let them know, hey, I'm with you. I want to see change too. You both of you were talking about, Juicy, you got a son that you're raising. Rashad, you've got nephews and a godson. I've got 4 kids. I've got 4 kids that I'm raising, and I don't want to have to explain any more of this stuff to my. I've got a 6-year-old that loves Juicy's son to death, that loves Isaac to death. She sees no color, and I want her to always be that way. I don't want them to have to grow up in that. I've got daughters and sons that that have black friends, and we in this, there is no such thing as racism or anything like that. We do not condone that whatsoever, and we raise our kids the right way. And a lot of this racism is being passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
It's okay
and
if
I also think
you're an Auburn fan, I'm an Alabama fan. We disagree on who the best football team is, but at the end of the day, we still love each other.
Yeah. I agree.
It is crazy. Me and Juicy talked about this last night. It is crazy to think that you're living in America where you got people so convinced that this side is the right side, and you got other people that are so convinced that the left side is the right side, that they're willing to kill each other, that they're willing to hate each other.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's so sad, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what goes on in November. I don't see this country winning. It doesn't matter who gets in there, because we're so divided. Until we get you, we're gonna just be divided. And
I think that a lot of people need to. I think what a lot of people need to realize too is that, and I'm speaking in regards to the flag, because I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and it's like I think a lot of people need to understand that Black people have a different experience with the flag than a lot of white Americans do. And that's just the truth. Our relatives fought in wars and came home and had to go around the back and get food. You know what I mean? And couldn't drink out of the same water fountains and couldn't go to the same schools. So Black Americans just have a different relationship with the flag than a lot of white Americans do. And I think that people need to respect that. Again, you can have your own opinion, but still respect where other people are coming from. You can still have, nobody's telling you can't feel however you want to feel. That is 100% okay. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody was, raised different ways. Everybody's got different feelings and different emotions on different topics. That is 100% fine. But you can still respect how your brother feels about it too.
Yeah,
you can still respect how your brother feels about it.
That's true.
Let me correct one thing before we move on, Juicy. I'm not saying that I'm proud of what's going on in America now. I'm proud to be an American, but I'm not proud of what our country's going through right now.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. It's okay to be proud of our country. We don't have to be proud of what's going on in our country right now, because I'm not proud of what's going on in our country.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, it's just a lot going on, a lot of negativity. But what I want to talk about is how the NBA handled it. How King James and the league, the plan of action that they took. What you guys think about it with Milwaukee and everything that went on with that?
I think they done the best. I think me and you had talked about it the day before they decided to keep playing. We both kind of had that same opinion. I felt like this. I felt like it would do no good. This is just me. I felt like it would do no good if they just stopped playing, because the people that they're trying to fight out against have already come out publicly publicly and said they don't support you and they're not watching your product.
Yeah.
So it would, I felt like they should have kept playing, kept a microphone in front of their face and a camera in front of their face, and still been able to speak and make headlines that way.
I think that it's really, really tricky. I love sports. So do I want to see the playoffs go on? Absolutely. But do I respect what the players done? And will I respect whatever they choose to do in the future? Absolutely. I'm 100% behind them. Because what people need to understand is that these incidents that we're seeing are happening to Black Americans. Well, Black Americans make up a large percentage of the NBA, a large percentage of the NFL. And these Black American players are saying, wait a minute, now we got some power here. We need to use this power to try to make influence change, try to get things done. I think LeBron has been phenomenal really for a long time in his career at trying to, and I'm giving all credit to the Milwaukee Bucks because they're the first ones to do it. I think they should have let LeBron and Chris Paul and those guys know what they were going to do, since they are the faces and they lead a lot of the charge on a lot of those things. I think that may be why LeBron was a little agitated at him the other day, is because let us know so we can be on one accord with this. Don't just do it. We're the
Have
NBA.
them out there looking crazy like the Magic was.
Yeah. And then you got, LeBron and them, you put them in a position where it's like, well, if they play, they look like they don't care as much and things like that. So talk to us. Let us know what you're going to do, especially if it's something this big, because it influenced the whole rest of sports and all the other leagues and sports for that day. It influenced everybody. Talk to us and let us know so we can get on one accord, and all of us can postpone and boycott the game. Because these black American players are saying, wait a minute, we got some power here. We sick of seeing this too. These people that look like us, we tired of seeing this too. This isn't right. So we want to try to use our influence, use our power to make some kind of change. I think it's positive. I'm behind them 100%. Do I want to see sports continue? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. I need that entertainment. I do. I want to see my Lakers win the whole thing this year. But I'm 100% behind whatever they want to do, because it's Black American players and white American players that are saying, we're tired of seeing these injustices. We got some power. We're going to try to use our power to influence some positive change. So I'm 100% with them.
Yeah.
Whatever they choose to do, I'm with them.
Yeah. I support them whichever way they go. But the two biggest leagues, the two biggest professional leagues, if I'm not mistaken, are NFL and NBA. I think that's the two. They pull the most ratings. That's the most, MLB down. A lot of other sports they're not on the level as NBA and NFL. And in those two leagues, they're predominantly Black. They're big time superstars are Black, and they have loud voices, and people look up to them, and will, they can influence people. And so I felt like if they did not play and just went back to their homes and stuff like that, that not all of them were going to be fighting and doing stuff. Some of them would have, but some of them would have, I felt like I felt like they should have played. Now I would have supported them either way. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like they should have used the platform that they're on. They're the biggest league right now that's going on. It's the playoffs. More people's watching, and I think you can get messages out. You can influence, and you can speak your mind easier with a camera and a microphone in front of you after just playing a game than you can if you were just at your house. Because there's only so many of them I think would have done it. Would have been out there fighting.
Yeah, I'm behind them 100%. If I was Braun, I would have been a little annoyed too, because the NBA move on one accord. A lot of that stuff going behind closed doors, and they present things together in a united front. So I think that's kind of piggyback what Shah said. That's what the confusion was. They want to come out and look like they're in a united front, and I like the plan that they have. Moving forward, kind of I ain't gonna say forcing, but to a certain degree, holding the owners accountable. Hey, we make y'all billions of dollars. it's a lot of us being killed that look like us. So we want to do something about it. We can use y'all contacts, just like Shannon say. It's not about money all the time, but it's about the contacts. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of those people in cahoots with people in the White House. So, you know, if you can get those people to come and, you know, support the cause, you know, we can get the ball rolling on a lot of things, you know. And I love this new social justice reform, you know, that everybody's doing, because you got a lot of cousins that got a lot of, you know, this is where we come from. We come from nothing. So we know how it is to get to that point. So I love, you know, everything that they're doing, whether they decide to play or not. Again, for selfish reasons, I want to see them play, you know, but at the same time, I feel like they should, because that's the biggest platform that you can get, the NBA playoffs. So you're going to have the world watching you. Well, I feel like some of the guys would care and continue the good work. Some of the guys going to Magic City and eating, you know, lemon pepper.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I think staying in the bubble and keeping that attention there, you know, and those mics in your face. We want to hear what you say, and I think, you know, it'll help out. Kind of like Killer Mike said, you know, as long as we, you know, plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize, I think that's something that they can use, implement it, and get everything going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
All right. That's all we got on that. I also want to ask you guys, you know, about the actual playoffs, you know, now that we, you know, we got all the, you know, the negative
Heavy 2020 stuff out the way.
Yeah, we got the 2020 shit out the way. What do you guys see in the second round? Who do you guys got? You know, now that you got a good feel of how it's going, what do you guys kind of see playing out these second round matchups?
Well, I'm a Laker fan, so I picked the Lakers to go the whole way. I don't want. Well, I wanted Dallas. I want Dallas to put out the Clippers because I don't want to deal with them in the Western Conference Finals.
They can't without Porzingis.
Yeah, no, they can't. But I wanted Dallas to put them out. Luka was on the tear, so I wanted Dallas to put them out. But I think that the Clippers kind of figured it out now, and they ready to play. You got Playoff P back in the mix. Playoff P said he was dealing with some you know issues that he had going on. And I think in the playoffs he can have a couple of psychological issues that's going on.
Dude, it's the first round. Like
it is.
If
the
you're
first
feeling
round.
like that in round one, what you gonna do if you make it to the West Conference Finals when them Duke cheeks get tight and that real pressure?
But you know what? But you know what? His issues may not have come from basketball. He's been playing basketball his whole life. You know what I mean? He know how to go out there and hoop. Especially you going into a regular old gym and hooping. Now you ain't even going into a arena with. So it may have been stuff that didn't have nothing to do with basketball. That's why I try not to judge. Your man said he was going through some stuff. He probably was going through some stuff because he was playing like he had other things on his mind. He was. That's how he was playing. He played disinterested. He played, you know, he was almost acting like he didn't know how to play. So
yeah, or guard
I think
anybody.
that he seemed to be back now, and you know, Kawhi gonna come out there and be consistent. So they'll get Pat Bell back here in a minute, won't they? Well, how long?
I don't know if he's coming back. They might let him sit out unless Game 7 is warranted. I can see him playing in, but.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I don't know how far they can go without Pat. I think they need Pat Bell. I think they need Pat Bell. They need him in round 2.
Now, round 2 gonna be cooking up, which the Western Conference isn't finished. But we pretty much can see what's going to happen. It's gonna be Houston versus LA. You know, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be Houston versus LA, and then the Clippers versus Utah, I believe. Oh no, they got to play it out. We got to see how it ends. So
it ain't over yet.
You know, now on the other side, we got Milwaukee versus the Heat, which is my pick to go to. You know, the finals is the Heat. So what y'all think about that series?
Heat gonna fool around and beat Milwaukee.
I think so. What you think, Kim?
The Heat, it'll be between the Heat and Toronto. Who's going to represent the Heat, the East?
Yeah, because
it's going to be between them two, but
we done lost your audio for a little bit. We done lost your audio, Kendall. Toronto and Boston Toronto and
I,
Boston is playing. What y'all think about that?
I'm going with Toronto. I just think Toronto got great coaching. I think they got a great system. I think they got the experience that they need. I think Boston is a year or two away. Personally, I think Boston got some great young talent. But I think they're a year or two away. They may be a piece away. Well, I don't know if they're a piece away yet because
Probably just some experience away. But they
got
did
great
make
young
it
talent.
to the Eastern Conference Finals with that group. So they got experience. Then they put to Game 7. So they got experience. It's about, can they take that next step? And I think that they might take that next step. I think they're going to beat Toronto. And it's going to be the Heat versus Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Heat to beat them. So we'll see. It's very interesting.
Got a lot of faith in the Heat. Where all this Heat faith come from?
Well, it's how they play. So, like, the defense is really, really good. But when I look at the box score, when I watch the game, I see 6, sometimes 7 people in double figures. So that tells me one person ain't carrying the load. They a team. They move as a unit. And they got snipers out there. And
but you know that style ain't what wins in the NBA. I mean, it can carry you so far, but
they remind me of the Detroit Pistons.
You do need that guy.
Which Jimmy can't close.
You think Jimmy can do that?
Yeah.
I'm talking about all playoffs. I ain't talking about one game.
But you got to think.
All playoffs.
You got to think. Jimmy was one shot away from going to the finals last year.
Yeah.
He just missed the shot. Everybody forget that. He missed the shot, and then Kawhi went down there and made the shot. So he was one shot away from going for the finals.
That's true.
So I believe that he can't, just watching them play, that defense is tough. And, Andre Iguodala can show them what they need to do in crucial moments. Yeah. He got that championship experience. All they got to do is get over the hump. Because I look at the field too. You saying what can Milwaukee do? Toronto got experience, but Kawhi, like you say, you need that guy. Kawhi is that. You know what I mean? So it's wide open in the East.
That brings me to another question. Is Kawhi that guy?
Well, you can't take it away from him.
The other day.
You can't take it away from him.
But is Kawhi the closer?
We're gonna find out this year. We're gonna find out this year. Ain't no excuses.
I told you he got the 2 weirdest finals MVPs of all time.
Yeah.
Like, they're just weird.
But you just can't
he got a weird finals MVP with the Spurs when it was a toss-up who you was gonna give MVP to. They gave it to him because he kept LeBron from going for 50 every night. And then in Toronto, he won it in Toronto, but he was the best player on the team. And you playing against the hobbled Golden State with no Clay, no KD. I don't know. I still don't know if Kawhi is the guy. I know he's a great player. Still not convinced.
We'll definitely see.
We'll find out.
Well, we want to wrap it up. Nova Trifecta. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you guys: is it any music or any movies that you guys could suggest to anybody to go out and listen to or watch just to get them on the outro? Any new music, old music, anything you want to bring up?
What Jamie Foxx movie on Netflix?
No, you said a new Jamie Foxx movie?
On Netflix, yes.
Okay. That's something to check out. What about
Project Power.
Yes, I thought it was a very good movie. Netflix has got some good movies, like they've done themselves. So, but that Project Power, watched it the other night. Highly recommend that movie. It's good. It's very good.
What about you, Shot?
Music wise, I'm a Nas fan, and the new Nas album came out this weekend, so I'm gonna check out the Nas, and I have something to say about it next week. But I want to check out the Nas, and then you sent me the
locks.
The locks with DMX. Mm-hmm. I gotta get on that. I'm gonna get on that later on today. But cool. The Nas is the thing that I'm most anticipating. I want to
King's Disease is what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some music and a show. Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son. Yes, He is a really talented artist. He makes really good music. He just dropped something called The Cool Tapes 3. It's really, really good. It's a lot of singing on it, but that's the kind of vibe that I'm on right now. Making music myself. So I would suggest that. And also a blasphemous show. I know you guys won't watch it, but Lucifer.
Lucifer a little bit too blasphemous.
It's a little bit
for me.
too blasphemous for you, but it's a really good show. So those are the two things that I suggest people watch. Other than that, Nova Trifecta. Any last thoughts?
I got one more thing I suggest.
Okay.
Tell your friends, your loved ones, how much you love them.
That's true.
2020 sucks, and 2020 has been horrible for everybody. I don't know if there's anybody's on this earth that's not been impacted by death, sickness, financial struggle, what have you. 2020.
All three of us been affected.
All
with
three of
personal
us.
loss. So
I mean, everybody. And so if 2020 has taught you anything, it needs to have taught you how valuable life is. It is just a vapor. It really is. So, to my friends and family that watch it and support us, I love you. The ones I don't get to see as much, miss you. It's just you better hug them and tell them how much you love them, because you're not promised that you get to see them.
I agree with you, Kendall, and I'm praying for all the families just going through bereavement for the loss of a loved one at this time. I know a lot of families and that's going through a situation right now where they've lost a loved one in the last month or two. And to be honest with you, I'll be honest, I had never seen anything like it, to where it's like, every day is something, every week is something. So I want to let all the families out there know that's lost a loved one, that I'm in prayer for their strength, for their comfort. My family also, we lost my uncle, a month ago. Kendall, you just lost your granddad. Juicy, you just lost your sister. So everybody that's in bereavement for the loss of a loved one right now, or that's got a loved one in the hospital, I'm in prayer for comfort. And, I think that God gonna watch over us all, but we all need to, be thankful for our families, love our families, tell them every day, squash any beefs and issues and petty problems. Because I promise you, whatever you got a problem with somebody about probably isn't that big a deal. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. Stop being petty. Stop holding grudges. Stop being mad about stuff way longer than you should. Communicate it, get it out of the way, and be done with it. And tell people, give people their flowers, because 2020 been rough. It's been rough.
I agree. All right.
God's trying to tell us, man, you better start drawing near to me. He's the only thing that's going to get us through this. I think he's trying to open some people's eyes. I don't try to get on here and beat people over the head with a Bible, but it says in his word, if you draw near to him, draw near to me, I'll draw near to you. And man, we need some peace and comfort in our lives right now.
Agreed.
I agree. Well, Nova Trifecta, we out. Love you guys, and tell your family you love them, because you never know when the last time you might see them. Nova Trifecta, we out.
We out.